Hi guys, and welcome back to Single, Married, Separated, Divorced, and Single Again, and obviously Married Again. Anyway, so on today's episode, I'm actually gonna do a reaction on the ultimatum. So obviously, on an ultimatum, what happened is that somebody must have given the other person. So this is it. People are maybe like dating for some years, 3 years, 1 year, whatever, and one of them wants to get married. One of them, it's not that one of them doesn't want to get married, but they are not ready at that moment. So what happened is that one of them give the other one an ultimatum: marry me or move on. We sound like a threat, but I don't think it's a threat. It's just a push in the right direction. And most of the time, I've watched ultimatums before, and sometimes it's go in the person's favor and they end up getting married, but sometimes it can create a lot of because this is the thing, later on you can actually kind of go in a trial marriage with somebody else, and what if you fall for that person, right? You never know. Anyway, so on this ultimatum we have Zaina and JR, and then we have Sandy and Nick, and then we have Aria and Scotty, and then we have Caleb and Mariah. I'm not going to mention the other couple that exited. I don't think they deserve our attention because they exited anyway. But before I start doing the reaction, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and push that notification button. And you can hear on my voice that I'm not well. I preach on my preaching channel that preach a verse based on 2 Corinthians 12:9. We said my strength is made strong in my weaknesses. So I'm doing this on purpose to just frustrate the devil. The devil gets frustrated if you don't do what he thinks you should do. You are sick, you want to lay down in bed and all that, but you don't do that, he gets frustrated. Anyway, so let's get started. So let's start with Scotty and Aria. Okay, so I'm gonna just be honest. Scotty is one. I don't think he's narcissistic, but I feel like he's the kind of man that is like either my way or the highway. Like on one of the episodes, he said, "Oh, then if you don't do whatever," I don't know what he said. It was like, "Then I won't marry you." Then I'm like, well, why do men think like? Anyway, that's because we gave them that thing. Like, we are the one making men to think that if they don't get married to us, then it's like, what, So Scotty's like, I won't marry you. So if you won't marry me, what? But I feel like Aria is also not that, because the reason I say that is because when it comes to the reunion, the way she acted against Caleb, like, I feel like she was so ready to put him down because she had an emotional connection with him, but he didn't have. Okay, this is the thing why I think Caleb is very respectful. Think like, well, maybe he did have an emotional connection with her, but that's all. Like, he didn't have a romantic feelings towards her, because I think he felt romantically involved with Maria, and that's why he shows her, obviously. But I feel like Aria she just couldn't, like, and this is why I say that women do have egos, they just hide it so well. I feel like when women get rejected, they have this vengeance against the man, like, oh no, he's bad, even when he's not, because I feel like that was not called for. Like, the attack that he had against Caleb, it wasn't called for, because now she was mentioning like, oh no, you go into my social media, you do this, you like, so why should I not like your post? Like, I'm liking other people's posts, I'm liking Zaina too, so what is the problem if like your post?
Because right away we learn that Caleb and Mariah are still together and planning a 2026 wedding with stuff already booked, and then bam, in comes Aria with an uppercut on Caleb.
But were you not looking at my stories, liking my stories?
And I also watched Zaina's stories.
And liking?
And I looked at Zaina's.
liking? I don't believe you at all.
Okay.
I think you're capping right now. Like you're giving off mixed signals if you're engaged and happy.
Dang, I barely sat down and the fire is already coming out. So Arya calls Caleb fake and says he wasn't honest with Mariah, even though Caleb and Mariah were talking every night for 2 hours during his trial marriage with Arya. Meanwhile, Mariah breaks down because all of this emotional connection stuff with Arya was news to her. She had to find out watching the show. But I feel like I need to pump the brakes here, cause was it me or did it seem really platonic with Caleb and Arya? Like, they said they had an emotional connection, but that doesn't always mean romantic, right? And honestly, I find it weirder that she screenshotted Caleb viewing her stories than it is that he actually viewed them. Also, if it's true he was talking to Mariah for 2 hours every night during the first trial marriage, I mean, girl.
So anyway, the reason I say that is because Arya was in a trial relationship with Caleb. Obviously, he came there with Scotty, and Scotty is the one that gave the ultimatum. But eventually, she said yes to Scotty. But then I found out that apparently she said yes today, and then the next morning she broke it. And I'm like, I think that was a pretense kind of like thing. Like, she was just pretending. She just, I don't know, like, anyway. So let's move to Zaina, and I think Zaina is like a, like a diva. So she came with JR. She gave JR the ultimatum, and JR ended up with Sandy, who looks exactly like Jennifer. But I feel like people are judging Sandy too much. I think she's a sweet girl. I don't know, maybe I just like her. I don't have a problem. Like, I feel like people are saying that they were too like, with JR, it was just like platonic in the sense like it was just like maybe like sexual and so on. But I feel like, I don't know, JR himself, I have to like now give him credit when he talk about like how when he was younger, he was, kind of abused, and he didn't have all. So I'm like feeling like, okay, let me give him credit. And I also think Zaina was too much on like the reunion. Like she was coming too much. I feel like it's another thing where I say women have equal, because I feel like JR was not interested in her anymore, like at least not in a romantic way after the because the whole purpose of the of the ultimatum is either you get married to me or we move on, not we continue afterwards. So I think JR was invested in the process so that he can move on and see what's going on. But I think Zaina didn't want to give up on that. And I think like she was stuck to still wanting him to be able to work things out. And I think that she was just supposed to admit that. But now she was kind of like crucifying him, like, oh no, you said this and this. And JR was very clear, like, this is a thing. Men sometimes do things because they don't want to hurt your feelings. But that doesn't mean they're interested, I feel like JR was really not interested after that. Like there's just maybe things that he learned about himself when he was in the trial marriage with Sandy, and then so he ended up not wanting to pursue anything with Zaina, but Zaina was not giving up. Anyway, then we have Caleb, and I think I love Caleb. Caleb is so calm, and I think Arya fall in love with him. But I think she got stuck on wanting him so much, but I feel like Caleb was not that romantically in love with her. He was more in love with Maria, and I think I love Maria. She's so beautiful. Have you seen? Oh my god. Anyway, then we go, oh my god, this is where the whole drama is. So this is the thing. So Nick is being made out like he's kind of a drama king in that sense, but I feel like, so this is what happened. Remember when I said that in an ultimatum you end up having to date somebody else for 3 weeks? So Nick, who came with Sandy, who gave an ultimatum to Sandy because he wanted to get married to her, he loves her and everything, end up like on the apartment downstairs of Sandy with JR. So, and then I think they were sending each other messages and so on, and then he ended up at the door of like, and I understand when Sandy say that she wanted to kind of go through the process, but I also feel like at that moment, because Nick was with somebody else, one of the couple who left, and obviously he was left alone. So at that moment, he was not having anyone that he's connecting to, at that moment. So I feel like if you like, it doesn't matter the process. If I came with somebody that I kind of love in that sense, and they are going through that, I can comfort, and even though I'm not gonna allow them to come, but I'm not gonna, like the way she acted, she chased him away. She was like, I feel like she was very rude to him, honestly speaking. I think Nick, and then I saw Nick crying. Oh my God, I felt so sorry for him, eh? This ultimatum thing, it's not a joke, guys. You might lose your you might lose your man to another lady. Don't try it, oh. Don't try it. Apparently marry or move on. What if the move on is now applicable to your own life? Oh my God. Anyway, so this is the thing. What do we learn out of this? Because remember, this channel is for learning, for dating, you know, learning how to navigate the dating, you know, whatever. So what do we learn? We learn that in the ultimatum, what we learn is that there is a possibility that the waters could be tested. And the possibility is that if your relationship is not strong enough, when you take somebody on, like, to the ultimatum, they might. And it's not even that your relationship is not strong enough. It's just that maybe you are not meant to be with each other. And this is why I'm saying that women has egos, because as soon as they feel rejected by a man, they now go on a vengeance of like, this man is what? This man is a liar. I don't feel it's needed. If the man is not into you like you are into him, it's okay. Like, you know, it's okay. So the ultimatum is teaching us that, you know, there's a possibility that, you know, what you think is strong is actually, the foundation is not that strong. Because I feel like if you go on the ultimatum, first of all, going on the ultimatum is already something like, why should I force you to marry me? But I also understand the other part or the other side of that, that, okay, you want to be able to give the person a choice and allowing the person to be tested, which is okay. But the thing is, if the person fails, it might mean that the relationship was never meant to be, because I feel like if you have a strong relationship, you should be able to withstand the test. I kind of feel like if it's me and my husband, we'll probably just like, I want to settle down with my husband, like, you know. But thank God we didn't even have to have an ultimatum, because I was so into me wanting to get married. My husband actually had been wanting to get married to me some years, like, you know, but I was married to somebody else, and every time when we talk about that conversation, I'm like, okay, I thought you were married now, I thought you were with somebody else, I block him, you know. I never allow that little seed to grow, because at that moment I was obviously married to somebody else. And even when we reconnected after my divorce, it was like quite coincidental. It's not like I planned. I was looking for somebody whose name is Christina, and then I saw Chris because his name is Christian. And I'm like, oh, let me check up on him. Obviously, what I'm trying to say is, if your relationship is not, it cannot withstand the ultimatum, it means that there was something missing already. Just like I say, even the fact that you have to take somebody to an ultimatum for them to get married to you is already like, you know. But I do understand that, you know, that part of like, okay, I want to make sure that this is what the person wants. And I think it cleared a lot of things for most people, because I think Saina got clarity about JR, and JR also got clarity about himself. And Cindy and Nick are not more together and so on. But I feel like Nick is also manipulative to a certain level. But I do understand that he was hurt, but to a certain level, he's kind of manipulative. Anyway, we're coming to the end of this, you know, reaction. The next reaction is going to be Love Never Lies, South Africa. Oh my God. The South African soap is incomparable to other soapies. They don't disappoint. Like, honestly speaking, even when you look, I've made a reaction on Ultimatum South Africa. Oh, the drama was like to keep us for a lifetime. They don't disappoint. Like, so Love Never Lies, you're gonna get the juicy part of it. And yeah, so take care, guys. And from me, Jehovah, goodbye.